Hey, have you ever taken the Machiavellian personality test? I can tell you that I took it, but I didn't score too high. Mostly because I'm a non-conformist and way too wild or rogue to buy into any of that bull.
You can kiss my!
Do you know who probably scored high on that test? Yes, you guessed it. President Snow from the blockbuster hit movie The Hunger Games. He demonstrated virtually all the characteristics of a Machiavellian psychopath.
Hope. It is the only thing stronger than fear. A little hope is effective. A lot of hope is dangerous. Spark is fine, as long as it's contained.
From hosting sadistic games where teenagers fought to the death to unliving people with wildfires and even poison.
Run! The fog is poison!
Come on now, Snow. Poison is a bitch's drug. As you can see, I love The Hunger Games, and it's not because it's a dark dystopian fantasy or because the characters have cool names like Katniss and Peeta. It's because it's one of the few movies that truly resonated with me. After all, the series is allegorical for breaking free from oppressive regimes, and trust, I've been trying to do that my entire life. However, through the fictional character of Katniss Everdeen, I've learned that freedom isn't free. It comes with a great deal of blood, tears, and yes, my friends, sacrifices. And although Katniss Everdeen was a huntress, killing both prey and foe with a bow and arrow, her real weapon was her self-confidence. I'll explain why in this video.
Happy Hunger Games, and may the odds be ever in your favor.
Self-confidence. You can't do nothing without it. But sadly, people think that self-confidence is all about belief. How many times have you heard you gotta believe in yourself or no one else will, or you gotta believe in yourself first or others will follow? However, believing in your abilities may cause you to have an inflated ego, or it may cause you to become egotistical. You see, my friend, self-confidence is all about self-sufficiency and mastery. For example, Katniss suffered the traumatic fate of her father dying in a major coal mining accident. Her mother, in distress and in shock, tapped out, causing Katniss to take control. Katniss and her forest buddy Gale learned how to hunt, cook, and trade game. Throughout the years, Katniss became a very skilled hunter, saving her family from poverty and worse, starvation. Katniss, my friends, is self-sufficient. She could have lived completely off the grid and she would have been just fine. Katniss is a likable character not because she has this amazing, colorful personality, but because she exuded an aura of self-confidence and mastery.
I thought they hated me.
They must have liked your guts.
To Katniss Everdeen, the girl on
This is something that very few people can emulate or even understand. Now, President Snow, on the other hand, is extremely egotistical. Unlike Katniss, who would never betray her true sense of self, Snow faked the funk. Sure, his father was a big dog back in the old days of Pan Am, but once he was killed by a rebel in the 12th district, everything just fell to pieces.
Coriolanus Snow, future president of Panem, we salute you.
Snow and his family were left penniless. Snow, much like Katniss, inherited the burden of taking care of his family. But unlike Katniss, he didn't become self-sufficient. Instead, he became egotistical.
Quite the rebel. I am. I'm bad news.
He focused on the Plinth Prize, excelling as a student, pretending that his family was still royalty. The Plinth Prize was his golden ticket to save his family from the shame of being, well, the shame of being poor.
Look at you. Your makeshift shirt and your too tight shoes, trying desperately to fit in when I know the Snows don't have a pot to piss in.
But Snow, unlike his classmates, was hungry, pun intended, and would do anything, including breaking the rules to get the prize. He slipped Lucy Gray, a tribute from District 12, a compact filled with rat poison, and later manipulated deadly snakes so that they wouldn't attack her.
Can lead to revolution. revolution. And then in a fraction of time, the whole system collapses.
It must be a fragile system if it can be brought down by just a few berries.
Yes, it is indeed.
Snow seemed to be on the right path, falling in love, willing to escape Panem, and live out the rest of his glorious days in exile. When something strange happens, he gets a whiff of power. It all starts when he gets first-hand experience of what it's really like to be inside of the arena. Snow then comes to understand that people make entirely different choices when they are in life or death situations. More importantly, Snow learns that he could get further faster by being cunning and mischievous.
Moves and counter moves. That's all we gotta look at. Katniss Everdeen is a symbol. They're mocking Jay. They think she's one of them. We need to show that she's one of us.
But follow the rules when breaking them can get you ahead a lot faster. Snow turns dark, betraying his best friend Sejanus, and later the love of his life, Lucy Gray. He returns to the capital, victorious. He's apprenticed, studying under the brilliantly evil Dr. Gall. And to top everything off, he is heir to the Plinth fortune. It's like the saying always says, Snow always lands on top.
Now I know the whole world is an arena. And we need the Hunger Games. Every year. To remind us all who we truly are.
But Snow didn't just win the game of life. He set it up to make sure that he would always be the victor. In true Machiavellian fashion, he set out to destroy his opponent's self-confidence. The reaping wasn't just a punishment to the districts. It was to show the world who was boss. Snow wanted the people in the districts to bend the knee. Furthermore, he wanted them to feel powerless about their state and their ability to change their fate. He wanted them to live in a perpetual state of fear. One of the ways of doing that was to limit their choices. Their professions would be dictated by the districts in which they were born into. 12 would be coal miners, 11 would be agriculture, and 3 would be technology. By limiting their choices and their freedoms, people would be hesitant about running away from their district. After all, a coal miner would have a difficult time surviving in the capital, and vice versa. Separating the districts also discourages any meeting of the minds, where people could plot to demean or worse, overthrow Snow's government. Worse, the people in the districts were hoarded into a cruel class system. 1 and 2 were at the very top of the hierarchy, and they would beat anyone down who threatened to dethrone them. Infighting, my friends, ensures that the oligarchs will always have peace. And it also ensures that the rich, like Snow, will always be on top.
Snow lands on top.
However, for the rebellion to take place, it has to be from someone who lives totally outside of the system. It has to be from someone who can't be influenced or brought with awards and ribbons.
Now you could have made out like a bandit in the capital. Jewels, money, anything you wanted.
Well, I don't like jewels, and I have more money than I need, so...
This is why Katniss was chosen to be the Mockingjay. This is why President Snow was so determined to break her. He saw the similarities in her upbringing and knew that he had chosen Team Evil, and he wanted Katniss to do the same thing. After all, she had garnished a huge following being a tribute in the Hunger Games, and Snow needed to be incredibly strategic when dealing with her.
I think there's a natural goodness born into us all. Really. You can either cross that line into evil or not. And it's our life's work to stay on the right side of that line.
However, Katniss Everdeen plays a bigger role, not only in the Hunger Games, but also in our everyday lives. She helps us understand that being a true rebel is all about self-confidence and mastery. However, in order to attain this level of mastery, we have to live outside of the Machiavellian systems. Like Katniss, we gotta go rogue. We gotta run wild. We gotta live off the grid. This is the only way for us to develop a real sense of self and to have that sense of self-confidence and mastery. So what do you guys think about the Hunger Games? What do you think about President Snow being like Machiavelli? What What do you think about Katniss Everdeen being a wild, wild woman? Please sound off in the comments below.